In January 2026, the World Economic Forum convened in Davos, Switzerland. Over 1,300 experts from 900 institutions were asked one direct question: where is the world heading over the next decade? Half of all respondents, 50%, described the next 2 years as turbulent. The 10-year forecast was far worse. 57% chose a single word: storm. It marked the most pessimistic answer in the survey's entire history. Yet the real shock comes when you compare the top 10 risks against current events. 7 of those 10 risks are not theoretical projections. They are happening now, simultaneously, across multiple continents. In Eastern Europe, the Ukraine war has entered its 4th year with an estimated 2 million total casualties. In Northeast Africa, Sudan's civil war has surpassed 1,000 days, displacing 13.6 million people. In the Middle East, Gaza's death toll has exceeded 75,000. In Southeast Asia, Myanmar's civil war has displaced over 4 million. Across the Pacific and Indian Oceans, 84% of coral reefs have experienced bleaching. Online, deepfake fraud has exploded by 3,000%, and the global economy now faces a 35% probability of recession. This is not a forecast. It is the present playing out in real time. The WEF Global Risks Report divides threats into 3 time horizons. The short term, covering the next 2 years through 2028. The long term, spanning a full decade to 2036. In the short-term view for 2026, geo-economic confrontation ranks as the #1 risk. 18% of respondents identified it as the single greatest threat to global stability. State-based armed conflict came second at 14%. Extreme weather events ranked third at 8%. Societal polarization and fragmentation placed 4th at 7%. And misinformation and disinformation rounded out the top 5 at 6%. Wars, weather, social division, and fake news dominate the immediate outlook. But when you shift to the 10-year projection, the entire landscape transforms. 5 environmental risks surge into the top 10. Extreme weather climbs to first place. Biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and resource shortages join it. Today's wars and economic clashes are the fires burning in front of us. Climate and ecological collapse are the embers that, once ignited, may never be extinguished. 50% of experts predicted turbulence within 2 years. 57% foresaw a storm within 10. This is the consensus warning from 1,300 of the world's most informed minds. Let us go through the numbers. First, Ukraine. The war began in February 2022 when Russia launched a full-scale invasion. 4 years later, it shows no sign of ending. Total casualties on both sides are estimated at roughly 2 million. This figure includes soldiers killed in action, wounded, missing, and civilian deaths. On the Russian side alone, confirmed military fatalities have exceeded 177,000. According to independent tracking by Mediazona and the BBC, Ukrainian losses, though less documented, are believed to be comparable. Second, Sudan. The civil war erupted in April 2023. Between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces, it has now surpassed 1,000 days. At least 150,000 people have been killed. 13.6 million have been displaced from their homes. That number represents roughly 28% of Sudan's total population of approximately 48 million. Third, Gaza. Since October 2023, the death toll in Gaza has exceeded 75,000. Out of a total population of approximately 2.2 million, the mortality rate stands at 3.4%. Fourth, Myanmar. Following the military coup in 2021, the civil war has intensified dramatically. Internal displacement has surpassed 4 million. The military junta now controls just 21% of the country's territory. 4 wars across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and Europe are burning simultaneously. War is not the only crisis. Far from the sound of gunfire, a larger and less reversible catastrophe unfolds beneath the oceans. As of 2024, 84% of the world's coral reefs have experienced bleaching. Bleaching occurs when corals, stressed by rising temperatures, expel the algae that sustain their life. If the stress continues for too long, the coral dies. According to NOAA, 80% of those affected reefs endured moderate to severe thermal stress. 35% have already been damaged beyond the point of recovery. The 4th global mass bleaching event, beginning in 2023, is the most widespread and severe ever recorded. Ocean dead zones are multiplying at an alarming rate. A dead zone is a region where oxygen drops so low that most marine life cannot survive. In the 1960s, there were 49 dead zones. Today, that number has exploded to approximately 700, a 14-fold increase in just 6 decades. If coral reefs vanish entirely, 25% of all marine species lose their habitat, and approximately 500 million people around the world depend directly on coral reefs for food and income. Their livelihoods, along with coastal tourism industries, would collapse simultaneously. This is why climate breakdown ranks as the #1 risk. In the WF 10-year forecast, this next crisis is invisible. It is a war fought behind screens. Deepfake fraud surged by 3,000% in a single year, from 2022 to 2023. A deepfake is a piece of synthetic media, a fake video, a cloned voice, or a fabricated face generated entirely by artificial intelligence. What was once a novelty has become a weapon used for scams, blackmail, identity theft, and reputational destruction on an industrial scale. In 2025, global financial losses from deepfake fraud exceeded $1.1 billion. 60% of companies worldwide reported experiencing at least one deepfake-based attack. Of those, 48% suffered serious damage to their brand reputation. But the most disturbing statistic targets the most vulnerable. 1 in every 17 teenagers globally has been a victim of deepfake-related harm. They are minors, targeted by a technology that evolves faster than any law, designed to stop it. Research has also shown that 35% of AI chatbots generate factually incorrect information. In the WEF report, misinformation and disinformation were ranked as the 5th greatest risk for 2026, and they are projected to climb even higher by 2028. The age of fakes overtaking reality has already begun. The fundamental problem is that detection technology cannot keep pace with the speed at which generative AI creates convincing forgeries. The final crisis strikes where it hurts most, in every person's wallet. JP Morgan has placed the probability of a global recession in 2026 at 35%. The New York Federal Reserve's recession prediction model produced a figure of 20.4%. Both warnings cannot be dismissed. The central variable is United States trade policy. Tariff increases are estimated to cost the average American household an additional $700 per year. This translates directly into higher prices for groceries, electronics, clothing, and other everyday consumer goods. At the macroeconomic level, GDP could decline by 0.62 percentage points, while inflation rises by a full percentage point. UNCTAD has forecast global economic growth for 2026 at 2.7%. However, the agency added an explicit warning that prolonged trade wars could push that figure even lower. Interest rate projections are equally divided. According to the CME FedWatch tool, the probability of just one rate cut by the end of 2026 stands at 16.6%. The probability of 3 cuts stands at 29.1%. Even financial markets cannot agree on which direction the economy will take. Wars at least have visible enemies. An economic crisis is a fight against an adversary no one can see coming. Let us bring it all together. In 2026, 7 global crises are unfolding at the same time on a single planet. Ukraine, approximately 2 million casualties across both sides. Sudan, 13.6 million people displaced from their homes. Gaza, over 75,000 dead. Myanmar, more than 4 million internally displaced. Coral reefs, 84% affected by bleaching. Ocean dead zones, surging from 49 to roughly 700. Deepfake fraud, losses exceeding $1.1 billion. Global recession probability, 35%. These numbers do not exist in isolation. War creates food shortages. Climate change drives mass displacement. Economic instability fuels the spread of misinformation. And misinformation, in turn, deepens social divisions and ignites further conflict. It is one massive chain reaction where each link strengthens the next. This is why 57% of the world's leading experts chose the word storm. Not because one crisis is severe, but because 7 are colliding simultaneously, feeding off one another in a cycle that shows no sign of breaking. The question that remains is simple but unsettling. By 2027, will these numbers have gone up, or will they have come down? The answer will be tracked in the next video.